Hola, I'm Tina Peña from Temas in Tulsa at the Thomas K. McKean Center for Creativity. We have a distinguished guest today, and it's Governor Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma. Welcome, Governor, or bienvenido.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be with you.
Thank you for joining us, Governor. I know that we appreciate you taking the time to come and connect with our community and discuss HB 4156, the recent law you signed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Governor Stitt, with the recent signing of House Bill 4156 into law, there has been quite a bit of confusion and concern with our community, within our community. And we appreciate you addressing these issues here on the show. So, could you provide further insight into the rationale behind the decision to sign HB 4156 into law, especially considering that the criticisms it has received as being an anti-immigrant law?
Well, first off, the reason I'm here, and I'm so happy you're getting this out to the community, and I just want to first say that the Latino community, the Hispanic community is so important to Oklahoma. I think it's there's 500,000 Hispanics in Oklahoma, which is 12% of our population or so, and 20,000 businesses. So the entrepreneurial spirit, the contribution that they make to Oklahoma is so important. And I also say that, you know, the Hispanic values are really Oklahoma values, which is very hardworking, family-focused, God-fearing, hardworking values, and that's Oklahoma. And so it's also important to know that the legislature writes these laws, not the governor. And so they come to my desk, and I have to either say yes or no. And this law, it's already illegal in Oklahoma to be here undocumented. It's already a law. So this law did not change that. And so I want the community to know that if you are working hard, if you are part of the community, if you're chasing the American dream, we want to try to figure out a way for those work visas. And that's why I signed, at the same time I did this law, I did a great signing statement to try to bring clarity. Mm-hmm. And then I also set up a task force to study how can we do work first permits in Oklahoma, because the Biden administration, quite frankly, has failed us, okay? Anyway, so.
Great. And we'll talk about the task force. I'm so glad that you decided to create one, but considering HB 4156 impact on law enforcement's relationship with our communities, especially with our immigrant community, particularly tax-paying undocumented workers, how do you plan to address concerns about potential racial profiling and trust issues? Because those are the questions right now.
Yeah. And I've talked to not only the Highway Patrol, but I know Oklahoma City PD, Tulsa PD issued statements. They're not going door to door. They don't have the resources. They're not going to be rounding people up. They're not going to be saying, hey, undocumented people, pulling people away from families. What they're trying to do, and I think the intent of the legislature was to put more tools in the tool belt, that if there's people illegally involved in the marijuana industry, you've got to realize there's 52,000 Chinese nationals that come across our southern border. It's really an effort to push on the Biden administration to have a secure border. We want safe communities, and as long as you're working hard and you're paying taxes and you're part of the community, I don't think you have anything to worry about. That's at least what the law enforcement has told me. And again, this law did not change anything. It was already illegal to be here undocumented anyway. Okay. In this bill, we're talking about DACA's okay, work visas, work permits, green cards. That's all fine, but I think it's really targeted towards some of the organized crime around the marijuana industry, trying to get control of that, giving them more tools in their tool belts to force them to do the right thing. And I think we all want, whether you're the Asian community, the Hispanic community, we all want safe communities. And that's what, as governor, I want. And that's why I'm here, is I'm trying to alleviate the fears. There's people trying to spin people in a circle saying that they're not welcome here, and those things. Here's the deal. If I've got an employer in construction or manufacturing or agriculture, and they're looking for an employee, and an employee's ready to work and have that relationship, we need to make that possible. That's what I'm trying to figure out in Oklahoma, is a workforce permit that we can do at the state level, because the feds, we understand how hard it is to get these workforce permits, and the court system's backed up, and there's so many great hardworking folks that are trying to just provide for their families, and we support that.
That's true. So now, with the establishment of this Oklahoma State Work Permit and Visas Task Force, I'm interested in understanding the specific objectives and strategies this task force intends to implement to facilitate opportunities for immigrants here who are contributing in this state. And I know that's where those visa issues come.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, I went to Mexico City and Monterrey, and we brought a consulate back to Oklahoma City, which I've talked to their consulate, Piñana, and I think it's their #1 consulate now in the country, or super busy. I don't remember exactly.
She's amazing, isn't she?
She's really good.
Yes.
And so we gave her a position on this task force.
I saw that.
Yep, we gave law enforcement, immigration attorneys, people that understand the federal system, law enforcement. So we're trying to get the people together. The report's due back to me in August, and hopefully we can. In August.
That's
pretty quick.
Very, very quick.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, if the purpose or the hope is that we can again put pressure on the Biden administration to let us do our own workforce visas here in the state. So if you're paying taxes, if you've got an address, if you don't have a criminal record, we want to try to figure out how they can have a state workforce type permit. And so that would be the hope of this task force, to try to alleviate and separate people that are trying to do the right thing and raising their families, and they're part of the community. They want to be Oklahomans, they want to be Americans, and they want to chase the American dream. That's who we want in Oklahoma. So
that's true. And we do have those citizens here, those undocumented workers who are chasing the American dream. They are working very hard and contributing to the state. So this task force has been an amazing news for us. The composition of the task force, you mentioned the Consul of Mexico, and who others are representing it?
So the governor, I've got 3 appointees: the Speaker of the House, the President Pro Tem of the Senate, some law enforcement folks, some immigration attorneys. So there's probably, there's probably going to be 10 or 11 people on the task force. And so hopefully trying to bring everybody together to come up with a make sense solution for hardworking people that are doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
And then we want to get criminals out. Criminals aren't welcome in Oklahoma. But if you want to contribute and you want to be part of our of Oklahoma, and you want to raise your family, there's no better place to live than Oklahoma.
I agree with that. I've been here 44 years.
Yes.
Lastly, Governor, I wish to bring to your attention that there are plans for a peaceful rally next week, where individuals intend to exercise their freedom of speech to express concerns regarding this HB 4156. In view of this, what steps will you take to address and engage these people who are at the rally?
Yeah. So again, free speech is part of the American values, and it's a freedom that we wholeheartedly agree with. My message to them is, that's great. Come to the Capitol. That'd be awesome. But really, the protest or the pressure needs to be on the Biden administration. We have to have secure borders. When I flew to Mexico City, to meet with the leaders of the government of Mexico, guess what? They checked my passport. I had to go through a port of entry. It's every country has to know who's coming into their country. So there's border security, which I think we can all agree with, and then there's the workforce permit or the immigration policy that we need to have. We need to have a better system, and that's why I'm advocating for state-sponsored work visas, because doesn't it make sense that you don't have to go to the federal government? The businesses in Oklahoma know what employees they need and know what jobs they need, so we should do it at a state level instead of a federal level.
And like you said, to use your own words, in a perfect world, it'd be wonderful if governors could actually be authorized to work on the H-1B visas, because you know better who's here in Oklahoma and who, if they're undocumented, they could have these visas, and that would be the perfect answers for undocumented workers in Oklahoma.
That's right. And then, but the other thing people need to realize is we've got such a great healthcare system in Oklahoma, and we have in the United States, and we have a great safety net. And so for our citizens, we cannot create this huge migration. We can't have everybody coming to the U.S. and then take advantage of the healthcare system. So there needs to be a difference between the workforce and the border security. And I think everybody agrees with that. And but I think some people are trying to confuse the Hispanic community and spin them in a circle and get them afraid when we're just trying to make sure that we have we're a law and order state, number one, and we want people here that are going to work hard, be part of the community, do the right thing, pay taxes, and be part of Oklahoma.
Great, great. Do you have a message for our Hispanic community, maybe in Spanish?
Well, you know, when we first came in, I said mucho gusto,
Sí.
but we had met before, and so I was saying, well, how do I say nice to see you? And you said mucho gusto
En verte.
en verte. So that's another. It's my lifetime goal is to learn Spanish.
It's never too late.
I know, I'm trying.
And TCC offers them online.
TCC offers them?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
absolutely.
what about Oklahoma? Is there somewhere in Oklahoma City?
OCU, absolutely.
Okay.
We have in Oklahoma City as well. I'll
Yeah.
be glad to get that information to you. And like I said, it's never too late
Excellent.
to learn Espanol.
Excellent thing.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the show, to Temas in Tulsa. And we're so glad that you were here. And I know that it's not going to be the last time I see you here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. Y ahí los dejo con Temas en Tulsa. Hasta la vista.